Hello viewers, myself Dr. Pavan Kumar. I'm an associate professor of pediatrics at MNR Medical College and consultant pediatrician at Omega Clinics and Rainbow Children's Hospital, Hyderabad. So today we are on behalf of Heartfulness Wellness Initiative, which is a part of Heartfulness Institute, a non-profitable spiritual organization which is conducting these fantastic programs. So we all know that August first week is being celebrated as World Breastfeeding Week. So as a part of that, we are going to discuss breastfeeding, the connection bond, all the common myths and facts about breastfeeding. Today, we have a very eminent and who is who of obstetric and gynecology, Dr. Sarita Balerao. She is she did her MBBS and masters from KEM, that is King Edward Memorial Hospital, and she is also a fellow of College of Obstetric and Gynecology (FRCOG) from London, and she has vast experience in obstetric and gynecology, and she is a member of treasurer of Mumbai Obstetric and Gynecology Society, and she is very active as a president of the Association of Medical Women in India and chapter secretary for Indian Menopausal Society. She has a very excellent experience and she has delivered many lectures on national and international forums. And today's another speaker, distinguished speaker, is Dr. Purnima. She is a lactation consultant. Her passion in lactation counseling, and she has helped many mothers who is facing challenges with breastfeeding and all. She has many publications to her credit, and presently she is working as a physiotherapy specialist at Hamid Medical Center, Doha, since 2 years. She was previously an associate professor of at SDM Physiotherapy College, that is at Dharwad, for 20 years. We have two eminent speakers she has conducted many workshops on lactation management, on breastfeeding issues. Her passion for physiotherapy in obstetric and gynecology is well known. And she's been a lactation consultant for past. Welcome you all, ma'am, both of you, for this wonderful session.
Thank you, Dr. Pavan.
Thank you, Dr. Pavan.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So we all know that though a tiny seed has a potential, it holds the potential of becoming a huge banyan tree. The right environment in the form of fertile soil, sunlight, and adequate water is equally essential to manifest that potential. Similarly, the manifestation of great human potential lies in the highest quality of care provided through key ingredients of epigenetics, which we all know that nutrition and neurostimulation in a nurturing environment that shapes during the first 2 years of life is very essential. And breastfeeding, we all know, we call it as a liquid gold. So it is both a neurostimulation, a neuro exercise, and also a brain building nutrients. It contains all the brain building nutrients, and also it is a brain building exercise itself. So I would like to quote from Human Genome Project, which says that it does not matter whether your child is male or female, fair or dark skinned, tall or short, thin built or chubby, and it does not matter in which community he or she is born, and which part of the world your child is born, as 99.99% of the genetic material is same among any two human children on this planet. So this gives us the potential. What are the important factors like nutrition in the form of breastfeeding, which is a key one, key neuronutrients, which provides and also a neuro exercise by itself. I think it is a transformed brain, which can, it's an evolved brain, which can transform the society, family, and country at large. So with this brief introduction, I would like to go with an impact of nutrition. Take this example as compared to with the breastfeeding. So example of honeybee in the animal kingdom, you can see that the larvae which are fed on royal jelly contains a protein called rhyolactin. The larvae which were fed on this royal jelly for less than 3 days, it will become a worker bee. See, the mere difference in the diet, it will, a larvae's fate is being defined whether to become a worker bee or a queen bee, just based on the diet difference. So those larvae which are fed on royal jelly for 3 to 6 days will become a queen bee. And what is the difference between this worker bee and a queen bee? See the lifespan. Lifespan of a worker bee is just 6 weeks only. But the lifespan of a queen bee is up to 4 years, which we can't even imagine. And the queen bee like behavior, and it has a longer size, larger abdomen. All these features of queen bee is very essential. And all this difference between these two are based on the difference in the diet. So with this, I think we need to go on. I would like to invite Dr. Sarita Balerao, our obstetrician, to speak on like how are you, ma'am? Like how are you celebrating this World Breastfeeding Week? What are your contribution to this week?
Well, you know, every year we have many programs, especially programs for lay people on the breastfeeding. And this time, because of the lockdown, we are able to do only on social media and things. But we have many programs, and through the Federation of Obstetric Gynec Societies of India and through our Mumbai Obstetric Gynec Society, we have many programs to promote breastfeeding. And this is a very important week. And over the years, I'm finding that more and more programs are being done every year in this month, first week of August.
Yes, ma'am. Dr. Purnima, can you add on like how you are contributing to the World Breastfeeding Week, because you are a passionate lactation counselor?
Yeah, true. But I am in a different country. So as ma'am says, we are in a very different situation this year because of COVID. So we don't have anything running as such, any public forums going on. It's mostly online. So there is, I would say that, in fact, yours is a program, Heartfulness Wellness. I should thank that we are doing something on this behalf. Otherwise, every year at SDM, we would do for almost a week, we would do public displays, we would have seminars, and we would have open one-to-one case discussions on for 1 week. We would do the same for almost all the years. Only here, it's a different scenario. So nevertheless, I thank this opportunity.
Yeah. Before going and discussing the common myths and facts, I would like to ask about your opinion about what about the breastfeeding during COVID times, because we are facing this challenging period and we are fighting with the enemy, which is invisible, unseen, and unpredictable. So what is your take on breastfeeding during? Every mother is now asking about, can I breastfeed? I'm COVID-19 positive. Can I breastfeed my baby? What is your take, Dr.
Well,
Sarita?
yes, this is it is a controversial area, and to some extent it depends how sick the mother is, whether she's asymptomatic COVID positive or she's or she's sick. Of course, if she's sick and she's breathless, then it's not an option. We cannot ask her to breastfeed. But otherwise, if she's if she's well, we do have the option, and we counsel them accordingly.
Yeah. Dr. Purnima, what are you saying now? Like if the mother is otherwise healthy and all, can she breastfeed?
Yeah, I second whatever ma'am just said. Because the CDC, because we go by the CDC, whatever new publications are up to date, because it's a new thing and not much of research is gone into. See, we are talking of two different things. One, the transmission through the breast milk, and as